Hello, welcome. It's Sally Reid, and we got another recording today. Now, remember, if you like or find that these videos are helping you, if you're getting something, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to find out more about me, you can go to sallyreid.com. And now it's time for our next question. Hello, it's Sally. It's time for another question. And those of you who are noticing that my hair is getting longer and longer as I'm growing it out for locks of love. So it's going to get even longer. It's starting to get to be a lot of hair. Anyway, we have another question today. And the question is, on this very cold, wintry day, the question is, how do I know? It's a good one. How do I know that the stuff from my past is still, if I can tell if it's still bothering me? Meaning, what are some of the signs and symptoms that you have when your stuff from your past is bothering you? Now, this is an amazing question because most people say, how do I get rid of it or any of the other stuff? Just how do I know it's there? Just check to see if it's there. Now, one of the first things that you'll notice about your inhibitions is that if you have certain beliefs or rules that are different from other people's. Now, how do you know they're different? Well, like if you believe that it's bad luck to go to a certain place, or you have a knee-jerk, like without thought, knee-jerk reaction to, oh, I can't do this. You don't even have a because, you just can't do it. I have a silly story from a friend of mine. He was told as a little child, for some reason, if he ate the crust of his toast, he would have curly hair that he couldn't do anything with. And so he never, until he was a grown man, he believed this. And he never ate the crust of his toast until his wife says, why do you never eat the crust? And he says, well, I never really thought about it, but it's because I didn't want to have curly hair. Now, isn't that silly? Because we know that there's absolutely no correlation between crusts and curly hair. Now, where do you suppose in your life you have these beliefs? And how do you go about finding them? Well, first look to your little rules of living. Like, do you have a rule that you can't go to bed until several things are finished? That's a symptom that you may have other rules that may or may not be true. Or do you have a rule that if you make somebody angry, that you're the problem? Ask yourself. Or do you have a rule that if you hurt somebody's feelings, you can't settle until they've apologized or you've apologized or made things right? Yeah, that could be something that's holding you back. Now, I'm not saying it's a good idea to hurt people and go off, without noticing it. I'm just saying that if it upsets you to the point where you can't settle, you can't go to sleep, you're up half the night worrying, that means that it's a sign of something much, much deeper, and it would be worth investigating. Or what about this? If you have a great idea, like this amazing, wonderful idea, and the minute you think of it, just wait 1001, 1002, and you come up with 15 more ideas of why it won't work and how you're going to fail, you just might have a rule attached to that. So there's a lot of ways that you can see that you might be hurting yourself or something like that with rules that aren't current to your situation. Because you know what? Most of these rules are created between the ages of, say, 2.5, and 7.5. Occasionally you get more created in your teen years, like 11, 12, 13, 14, adolescence, if something big happens. But most of the time, all of your rules for engagement in living, like how does a doorknob work, how do you walk, how do you do all this stuff, they get created when you're a very young child. So now the next question is, what do you do about these rules? The first thing you do is notice when you have a knee-jerk reaction to something and stop just for a second and say, is this something that I hold in my heart as true, or is it something that I've always been taught? Just stop just for a second. Just say, well, that's different. I never realized that. Like, here's an example for me. When my children were little, whenever they wanted to go somewhere or whenever they wanted to do something, my first gut reaction was no. You know why? Because my mother always said no. Until one day I stopped and went, wait, is that something I truly believe? Why can't the kids go somewhere? Give me a darn good reason. Well, there wasn't one. So you see what I mean? Double check. Give yourself a darn good reason where that's true. And if there isn't one, then there's a good chance that you are following the rules of engagement that you created when you were a toddler. And are they working still? If they're not, challenge them and let them go. I hope this helps. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.